Hi everyone and welcome back to No One's Home. I know it's been a very hot, humongous, fat minute, but basically, life is really strange. Also, sorry I'm holding the mic word in the visualizer. If you're listening to the audio one, I'm gonna try to speak as loudly as I can, only because the mic that I'm using is very quiet. Okay, so why do you hear? To make a long story short, basically what had happened was is that I didn't want to upload because I'm a white person. I'm Hispanic, but I mean I'm not indigenous. I don't think I am at least, so I'm not brown. So basically, I didn't feel that it was right for me to take up space on the internet or in the algorithms that should be going to Black Lives Matter and should be going to, Yemen, Lebanon, any other cause. And I feel like it's really fucking insidious that other creators are basically just uploading and going on to their regular lives. And I know it's like it's complicated for me personally, only because I just don't understand where these influencers are just like, oh haha, watch me do this funny challenge, and then like in the link it's just like the Black Lives Matter card, which is good I guess to a certain degree, but it's also like why can't you just do more? You know what I mean? I don't know. It just makes me like because okay, so I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Who like my 5 2 3 listeners, I do want to be an influencer, kind of sort of. You maybe I'm more so along the lines of I just want to be an online content creator because there's a lot of weird stigma regarding the title of being an influencer. So what does that even mean? I don't it's a I the reason what personally I want to be an influencer is only because I'm going to have access to a lot more resources had I just been myself, or like me right now. I literally only have $20 on my bank account. I can't do shit right now. If I had thousands of dollars from AdSense and deals and things like that, maybe it would be easier for me. It would be a hell of a lot. It would be so much more fucking easier to me to just donate to everyone's GoFundMe, and to support Black lives while they're still here. Because even with there's like what's really fucking sad also, like before I gently segue to a different topic, or not to, but like what I wanted to talk about for this podcast episode is that there are a lot of Black trans women who were unjustly murdered, or died essentially. Their like funeral GoFundMe's will get funded, and that's really good, but it's also like, why can't y'all, or why can't we just support Black trans women all the time every day and give them their flowers while they're still alive? The Black trans women have the least, they have, I'm sorry, I'm trying to say this in a way that makes sense, because the way that I do this is just such a stream of consciousness, and I don't want to misspeak because it's really fucked up. Black trans women don't get to live a long life. That is what I'll say. Most of them, I think the oldest they get to be, like statistically, is like 30 or 40. So to have older Black trans women in the LGBT community in general is amazing and is wonderful, because they have such a short lifespan, statistically speaking. So gently moving on from that topic, fucking support Black lives and support Black trans lives while they're still fucking here. Yeah, just in general. Gosh, so if you've seen the title of this, I watched, and if you follow my Twitter or whatever, you don't have to. I'm gonna leave a bunch of links on like the Anchor episode that have things like that. So if you're listening on Spotify or whatever, go to the Anchor page if you want and click some of the links there that will be able to help out some of the causes that are going on right now currently. Um, the Berserk movies, I watched the 3 ones on Netflix, and they fucked me up really bad. So what if you follow my Twitter and if you follow some of my videos on YouTube, you can put two and two together. I'm not going to explain it out to you, only because the way I process trauma is a little bit not good. And I've been in and out of therapy for like 5 or 6 years, and I love going to therapy. But I'm also realizing now, like, not so I'm gonna be honest and open. I'm gonna be very vulnerable in this episode, for basically, and you don't have to listen to this one, especially if you're someone who's have had trauma regarding the issues that I put a trigger warning for earlier. But what happened to Casca in the towards, like, that scene is so visceral, and even like I think like all 3 of them, like Guts, Griffith, and Casca. Well, I don't know about Griffith. I don't really like him as a character, but they all were basically sexually assaulted as children, and holy shit. And even like I was trying to think of something else where like another anime that I've heard of or that I've like seen that has or alludes to CSA, and one of the first couple episodes of Banana Fish basically has like the person who got assaulted watch their own tape of them being assaulted, and granted this is fiction, but also this shit happens in real life. Like, fuck, God, it's just fucking disgusting. Like, I genuinely hope all fucking abusers, predators, pedophiles, fucking rapists rot and die and get tortured to the most fucking sickest degree, because it's like, how, like, why? Like, obviously good people don't do that shit, but it just makes me so fucking angry. I don't know. And then also just the way that it, like, okay, so like trying to connect the two with like berserk and then my personal life is just that there's so much fucking awful shit that has happened in my life that I really haven't processed, or that I haven't really dealt with. And like the most recent incident that like caused like a lot of fucking trauma and a lot of just basically made me regress as a person in general. And I'm trying my best, like, not like, I really want to keep it together for this, because I want to be a therapist. I want to assist people who go through similar things, like, low income background, and go through a lot of, depression, anxiety, trauma, sexual trauma, things like that. Like, I want to be able to actually help them, and I can't like help clients if I can't even help myself. And then it also goes back to like, I have a big heart. I want to help other people, but it's like, who heals the healer? Like, I and the way that what I realized today also is just that I try to take care of other people in place of myself, so that I don't have to work on my own issues. And that's like a big, I mean, it's something that I knew, but I had knew, yeah, fuck grammar. It's something that I had known for a while, I think, but I didn't actually really accept it until today. And that's a huge fucking like milestone slash realization. Like, it's fucking crazy to me. Like, I just, and I know, like, obviously, like, you're not my therapist, and this is just kind of me talking to dead air, but it's just fucking insane how I just push everything. Oh yeah, so also just to talk about myself, and then I'll go back and forth with talking about Berserk, and I guess just my personal life in general. It's just that hold on, sorry. I'm like recording my audio and also video, but they're gonna be a little bit separate, and this mic just sucks basically. So what the fuck was I talking about? Sorry. I have like this stream of consciousness that I do, it just doesn't always work. So yeah, the way that I realize that is just, I don't know, cuz I just got out of the shower, and I don't let myself be vulnerable very often. And I do have people who care about me, but they're not like, because especially with the virus and things like that, I can't just, we can't just hang out and then we have a deep talk about these things. Like, even like one of my friends, we literally spent like 2 hours on Animal Crossing New Horizons, just like chatting and just venting and talking to each other, and it brought us really close. Like, we are very close. My friend from college and things like that, and my other friend from university. I have a couple friends from university that care about me, but it's also like I always feel alone regardless of what I do. And I know I literally have like a fucking village, a city, a town of people who care about me, and they're always open to accepting me and the things that I've gone through and things like that. But it's never my first go-to. It's always like, push it down, shove the trauma down. So like, I guess it's like kind of like guts in a way, or I don't know, it's kind of like a mix of guts and Costco, where it's just like, I have so much anger, and I have so much sadness, and I have so much raw fucking emotion that it just like, because like, as I said earlier, I like to just push it down. Like, imagine it being in a bottle, and then, but it's also like that ketchup and baking powder thing, I guess, where it just fucking erupts and explodes. So to a certain degree, it's like, it's not healthy at all. It's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. And the way that I'm coping is right now. I mean, I've made 3 paintings, 2 which are going to my pen pals and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, yeah. So what happened after the third? Because I watched them last night. Today's August 9th, and this will come out today. No, I watched them yesterday, August 8th. We spent like the later evening to watch them, me and my fiance, and it's today's Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. So after like the last scene in the third movie, which is Griffith assaulting Casca, in like it's just, and then Guts like watching and screaming, and then the demons, and the demons are just like like laughing, and it's just like it's such a visceral, like, gut wrenching scene that like I was trying not to look at it, but it's just like one of those, like, not torture porn, but it's just like one of those things you like can't pull your eyes away from. Like it's just awful, and it was an awful scene to witness. And so like it just resonated with me to a point to where like I just didn't feel like a person after I watched them. I just felt like a shell of myself. Like I felt like I could see myself, in my apartment, just uh trying to just take care of myself. And I'm barely even taking care of myself. And this is like a reminder for you too. If you're hungry, or if you need water and you're able to go get a cup of water, go, like, you can pause this at any point in time. Like, this isn't live, because I know, like, me growing up, the way that I ignored all my trauma is that I would just go on the internet and just scroll on Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr and YouTube for hours and hours and hours. And I realize now, because I have my calendar next to me, and my calendar has a bunch of things that I should be doing, but instead, you know what I'm doing? Scrolling the internet for hours and hours and hours, and just trying to ignore, what I've gone through and what I've experienced, and how it just relates to, some of the things that Guts and Costco went through. And I don't know. So yeah, so to go back to the story of yesterday, what I was doing after, it was like 10:30 or whatever, and I went to bed trying, maybe around 1 in the morning, and I was working on this kind of larger painting, because I've recently gone back into painting. I have a bunch of canvases and watercolors and acrylic paints and things like that I love, but it's just, what pushes me to go back to art, because I talked about the same thing on Friday. Like, I put a tweet about it, just that my identity as an artist doesn't feel valid because I can't draw people, or that it just doesn't feel I just don't feel like an artist, basically, even though I am, like, I have poetry and I have physical art and I have these things that I've created online. Like, I had a magazine, or the wallpapers and things like that. Like, there's so many forms of art and things that I have done or want to do or will do in the future, but I don't consider myself an artist, and that's such a fucking disservice to myself in general. I don't know. I don't know. It just feels weird. And, like, like the mental gymnastics and aerobatics that I'm doing, to try to, like, project, or to try to, not really deal with the issues. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I do know, and I say I don't know as a filler, but it's just mind blowing to me how, like, I had to watch the fucking Berserk movies on Netflix to realize that I haven't been dealing with my trauma, and I haven't been actually taking care of myself. I've just put every, and that's the reason to, like, some of my videos I still say that my apartment looks like a horrors episode, and from, like, the what you can see in some of my, like, videos where I film, and especially in, like, there's a cleaning video that I have clips of on my phone that I need to actually put together. That we've lived in this apartment since March. It's August, and I have gotten little to no progress done on actually trying to get some things together. And that just goes to show you how I just, you know, don't really care about the surroundings where I do, like, I mean, my cat's taken care of, he's fine, I eat, my boyfriend eats, we have water and things like that. But it's just I don't know, it's just weird to what I'm going through and things like that. Like, I just recognize that I'm not really taking care of me or my apartment. I'm just going through the motions and try to just live day to day. And I'm trying my best not to cry and things like that, because I don't want this to be a pity party. I don't want you to feel like, oh, feel bad for me and things like that. No, like, I don't want sympathy. I want empathy. Like, I want you to kind of view this as yourself and feel like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I, sitting on the internet for hours and hours and hours and not really, taking my medications or drinking water or eating or just not living life? Because I feel like also this is something that happens with all of these like generations who grew up with the internet, and how you just get so sucked into, the internet, and how it becomes just you, but like, it's you on the internet, but it's also like you feel like it's a part of your identity, I guess, because some people, like, make those, like, niche memes, and some people make art, and so it can be uh sorry, my fiance just came in and he has a little drink and things like that. But it's I don't know, it's just weird, and it's something that I just have to recognize and know that I can separate myself from the internet, and that I can separate myself from the media that I consume, and try to actually process the things that I've gone through. And to some degree, that's good that I recognize that, but it's also like, damn, I need to go back to therapy. I really just have to put put two and two together, do the math, even though I cried while trying to learn long division in elementary school. But I don't know, life is weird and life is harsh and life is strange, and there's a lot of things going on right now, and there's something that we can do. We can sign petitions, we can try to do good unto others, we can help the homeless people in our area, we can try to do community fridges and things like that. But I know I also, and this is how I like kind of, relate this to me, because I don't want to feel like, I mean, it's my podcast, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, but I don't want to make bigger causes about myself, because that's kind of fucked up, because they're not about me. They're about Black lives. They're about Lebanon. They're about Lebanon. I'm so sorry. They're about Yemen and things and those countries and those causes. So what was I even going to say? What was I even alluding to? That, yeah, there are some things. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. There are some things that are just out of our control that we have absolutely no control over, and that we can't even try to make a bigger impact than what we think we can. Because I know, just from my childhood and things like that, it kind of feels like everything is my fault. That every single bad thing in my life, every single bad thing that has happened in the world is my fault. And it's not. It's kind of, it's ridiculous to say it out loud, but that's genuinely how I've thought for the past 23 going on 24 years of my life. And obviously, this is just me kind of just saying it out loud. And the one thing with me is that if I say it out loud, it's real, it's tangible, it's in the world. I can't take it back. It's a thought that's out of my brain and onto the internet, which is a permanent place, and on into real life and reality. So it's so permanent. So there are some things that you and I just can't control. We just can try to do what we can. We can sign petitions, we can donate, we can watch these long live streams that donate their AdSense to these causes, we can retweet, we can reblog, we can repost, and things like that. And even in our own communities, we can go to protests, we can help out homeless people, we can donate to shelters, we can try to do as much good as we possibly can. And just, I mean, I know it's hard to be satisfied with just that, because there's still so many things that we can try to do and we want to take on in general. But we also, like, especially like we, but also like me, like we and I have to realize that we can only do so much. Like you and I, we're just two people. I'm just one person. I'm just one person on this big earth and this big universe that is just trying to do my best and trying to be good. And that's also something that I realized, that I just, like, bad is bad, but also bad is evil. So like that's what I learned when I was younger. Just that, like, I have to do good, I have to be good, I can't be evil, I can't be bad. Because, and I'll feel guilty even for, like, do like simple things. Like I'm trying to think of what, like how some people across the world are literally starving of hunger and things like that, but I have so many things in my pantry that I'm not even eating, dry food and dry goods like that. So it's like that guilt that just follows back and stuff like that. And it's hard to, like, disassociate or just remove yourself from and try to, like, unlearn these internal biases, that, like, oh, church is good, and ignoring others is bad and things like that. It's a process in itself. There's lots of things that I'm learning today and that we're going through together, that you just have to learn to process and learn to let go and learn to know. And just know that we are only capable of doing these things into what abilities we have. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know if you know, because I didn't word that properly, but we can only do so much, and we can only do what we can, not what we want. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things, kind of like that quote. I forgot but if she was in Drag Race, and she was she's like, what you want to do is not necessarily what you're gonna do. Basically, I have big dreams and big plans. Like, I wanna have a scholarship set up for people, that for low income kids who want to go to college but have no other way, don't have a lot of funding, and they don't know about loans, because I didn't know about that, and now I'm like $40,000 in debt. Fuck that. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say, what I want to say on record, but if you know, if you have debt, yeah, there's so many things, like big plans that I want to do and I want to have, but it's kind of unrealistic right now for me to feel guilty about those things that I can't do, when there's a bunch of things that I absolutely can do, with the petitions and donating and doing things that what I can do, and doing what I can do to the best of my ability, basically. And that's what's a hard pill to swallow because I want to do good. I want to do more, but also I'm just me. I am just a person. I am just someone who's trying to be the best version of myself, but I can't even fathom trying to be a therapist or trying to be an influencer when I can't even fucking do the dishes in my sink, you know? So, yeah, I realized I didn't really talk a lot about Berserk, but we're coming on about the time that I'm trying to get towards because I want to, get longer with the podcast, but it's also like I don't really edit these, but also, I don't know, my brainworms are dying off in my head as I come upon the ending of this. But thank you for listening and thank you for watching. If you see the visualizer, yeah, do good. Try to fund Black Lives while you can, and be open to change and be considerate of other causes and things like that. Like definitely, retweet and repost the resources and the information as it comes in, and be wary of misinformation because there was a lot of misinformation regarding Lebanon and the issue that was going on. I mean, the crisis that is going on essentially. Sorry if I misspoke, but yeah. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for lending me your ears, and thank you for listening if you did listen, because this was a tough one to get through. And yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.